Download Investigate TV for your Roku and Amazon Fire devices.
Millions of people may need to evacuate as yet another dangerous hurricane is headed right toward Florida as the region is still recovering from Hurricane Helene. Plus, we'll hear from the driver of a car that crashed into a crowd at a southern Kentucky racetrack about what may have led to that incident.
And we have a beautiful start to the work week as temperatures today were in the 60s and 70s, but how long will the nice weather last? I'll have the answer in a few minutes.
Mountain News, first at 4, continues.
Another powerful hurricane is barreling toward the southeast. Hurricane Milton is now a Category 5 storm, currently moving just north of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. It is expected to hit around or directly on the Tampa Bay area late Wednesday or early Thursday. It could be the worst hurricane in Tampa Bay in more than a century. CBS's Christian Benavidez is in St. Petersburg, where the destruction left from Helene is going to create additional dangers.
But time is going to start running out very, very soon.
A message of urgency from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, warning residents to prepare for Hurricane Milton, including removing debris left from Hurricane Helene.
We need as much of this debris picked up as possible. This creates a safety hazard, and it also will increase the damage that Milton could do with flying debris.
Ben Lando lost his truck in Helene, but hopes his business can survive another punch.
It was coming from here, there, hitting together. I was like, that's missiles, even though I have shutters on every window.
Officials along the Gulf Coast say the hurricane-force winds will also keep first responders from helping those who ignore evacuation orders.
EMS won't be there, fire department won't be there, police department won't be there, so take heed to the warnings.
Storm surge could reach as high as 12 feet in parts of the Tampa Bay area. Another problem with debris clogging up storm drains, making flooding even worse.
We're going to board up, bag up, and leave.
Residents are lining up for miles to fill sandbags and their gas tanks.
You know, everybody's now starting to start filling up, but yeah, things are going to get a bit hectic.
It's an exhausting effort that's becoming too frequent for some.
I mean, I have to admit, there was a moment where I said, how many more times am I going to live through this? I think every islander did.
Milton would be the first major hurricane to make direct landfall in the Tampa Bay area since 1921. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, St. Petersburg.
Hurricane Helene killed at least 230 people throughout the southeast and caused billions of dollars in damage just along Florida's Gulf Coast. Also happening in Florida, Pasco County has reported 3 confirmed cases of mosquito-borne dengue fever as large mosquito populations have grown in the area following Hurricane Helene. The Pasco County Mosquito Control District is out in full force after the hurricane, with inspectors flying from above and with boots on the ground spraying areas holding water.
Mosquitoes are the world's deadliest animal, and these guys are your heroes. The ladies and gentlemen that work in mosquito control industry, they're really doing everything that they can to protect your health.
The Mosquito Control District is targeting mosquitoes that have hatched in the water before they become flying and biting adults, especially during a time so many people are having to keep their doors and windows open with piles of debris outside from the hurricane, which can collect water. Victims of Hurricane Helene are still cleaning up in several states, and Appalachian Regional Healthcare is doing what they can to help with the recovery process. WYMT's Austin Hicks tells us how ARH is making an impact.
ARH is known throughout the region for giving quality care to the patients of Eastern Kentucky. And now that the victims of Hurricane Helene are in need of support, ARH is stepping up to help. ARH is hosting a supply drive until October 11th to send aid to those impacted by Hurricane Helene. Folks here in the mountains understand what the people in North Carolina are going through, and COO of Hazard ARH, Chris Moeller, says it is time to return the favor.
We had trucks coming from Chicago, from Los Angeles, from North Carolina, from Florida, from the Northeast, everywhere from the country coming to help us during our time of need, and we want to make sure that we're paying that back and help the people that helped us.
All donations can be dropped off at any ARH hospital, and all large donations should be brought here to the Disaster Relief Center in Hazard. Austin Hicks, WYMT Mountain News.
Coming up at 6, we take a closer look at ARH's efforts in sending aid to those impacted by Hurricane Helene. The Daniel Boone Festival is getting set up in Barberville as folks get excited for the 76th year. This year, the theme is Rediscovering Boone. The rides and booths are currently going up in the downtown area. Today is actually the second day of the festival. On day 1, folks were able to head to the Knox County Middle School for the Daniel Boone Festival Baby Pageant. President of the festival, Tim Bargo, says there's so much to do at the festival once everything gets rolling.
On our courthouse square, this year we have 24 food booths. These are old-fashioned mom and pop food booths. All of them are nonprofit organizations, churches, small organizations, and it's a place for folks to come and, in our terminology, visit.
Tonight at 7 o'clock is the presentation and coronation of the 2024 festival royalty. The carnival starts tomorrow evening at 6. The full schedule of events can be found at the Daniel Boone Festival Barberville Facebook page.
Well, as advertised, we had plenty of sunshine today. Temperatures are near normal. Take a look outside. Let me go ahead and pull up the graphics here real quick. We'll talk about that coming up in just a couple seconds, but there you go. There's the Kentucky Mesonet camera in Breathitt County. You can see a beautiful evening out there is in store with temperatures in the 60s and 70s, upper 60s in Jackson, low 70s in Irvine, 71 London, 72 in Somerset, 73 in Jacksboro, as well as Middlesboro. Jonesville's checking in with 75 degrees. Now, all is quiet right now on live pinpoint Doppler radar, and that'll get a break as we go throughout the next several days as the ridge of high pressure is in control. But if you have plans tonight, whether it's to grill out, there's your grilling forecast. We'll see temperatures in the low 70s by the 6 and 7 o'clock time frame, upper 60s by 8 p.m. with clear skies. If you have plans for the next 3 days, look at the sun right there. Plenty of sunshine is in store. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s and low 70s. I'll have your complete first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
That is my dream forecast there, Eric. Thank you. A Southern Kentucky race car driver is talking to us about a freak crash Friday night. Shane Irvin was racing at Ponderosa Speedway in Lincoln County when his car crashed and landed in a section of grandstands. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to Irvin and has more.
Ponderosa Speedway will have racing this Friday night, and the section of the grandstand where this happened will be closed. I'm told that repairs will be made to that area, but no one will be allowed to sit there Friday night after this crash happened. It had been a normal night of racing at the Ponderosa Speedway when the crash happened Friday. Shane Irvin says that a collision turned into a barrel roll. He says he had no idea that momentum carried him into the stands until rescue workers told him that they could not upright his car.
They said, "We can't turn you back over. You don't understand. You're in the pit grandstands. We think there's people underneath your car, and there's definitely people pinned with your car." And they said, "We can't move you."
Irvin told them to tend to them first, that he was okay. He was not hurt in the crash and says the car's safety equipment protected him. He says he's been racing for 24 years, and this is extremely rare.
Like, as a fan, you should never feel like it unsafe at a racetrack. That was just a bizarre incident. For me to go over the wall, that the fence was 15, 18 foot high, and for the car to go over that and get into the, it's just, you'll probably never see it happen again.
I am told that a total of 3 people were taken to the hospital, but for one, it was really more of a precaution. In Lincoln County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The track director says they also have a number of first responders, fire, EMS, and others at every race in the event something happens. The Supreme Court has declined to hear an appeal from singer R. Kelly. Robert Sylvester Kelly, known by his stage name of R. Kelly, is currently in prison for federal sex crime convictions. He told the Supreme Court he was wrongly retroactively prosecuted under a federal law that passed in 2003. It made the statute of limitations indefinite for sex crimes with minors. Federal prosecutors declined to respond to his appeal. Coming up on First at 4.